This series is not meant to be an accurate representation of the current NASCAR Cup Series. This is a fictional series, ran on NR2003 for enjoyment. I hope you enjoyed today's race.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the NR2003 simulation season. We are live from Las Vegas Motor Speedway for Championship Day. 14 drivers started this journey 5 races ago. 4 drivers remain. The 4 drivers that will race today for the championship are Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, and Kevin Harvick. Ryan Blaney, the only one without a championship and without a win this season in the Championship 4. Will he be able to pull it off? Will a 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion be able to go to victory lane today and secure a 3rd championship in Kyle Busch? We're moments away from finding out. Today's race is going to be exciting. It's finally here, the championship race for the NR2003 simulation season. We're going to take you trackside to get the engines fired and cars on track for the final time this season.
Driver, start your engine!
And with the command of fire engines, we're ready to go racing in Las Vegas. On the left of your screen, the starting lineup will be shown. Our closest playoff driver to the front is Kevin Harvick. He'll be starting in the 4th position today with the best starting position out of all of them. But all 4 championship drivers are in the top 16. We're going to be checking in a couple times with these Championship 4 drivers. You can see we have our 4 in-car cameras that we are going to be checking in with today. And these cameras are going to put you right into the action and give you a bird's eye view of what these drivers are actually seeing here on the racetrack as they race for a championship today. We've got Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, and Kevin Harvick. These cameras are going to be great. We'll be checking in with them multiple times this afternoon. Those 4 cameras are going to be cool. We'll check out what the Championship 4 are up to as the race goes on. Right now, all eyes on Tyler Reddick and the pace car as that pulls into pit lane. Field in the hands of the 8 car and Tyler Reddick. And for the final time this season, the green flag is out. We are racing in Las Vegas for the championship race. Here we go. No looking back now. The race is on. Kevin Harvick right now on the top side, not really where you want to be. You can see Kyle Busch, he dives down to the inside. So Kevin Harvick might be the odd man out here. That top side is not preferred. We saw that in the Xfinity race yesterday, that top lane does not get going very well. Alex Bowman to the lead, but the championship, it is Martin Truex Jr. So move Truex Jr. up to the championship lead as he gets by the 4 of Kevin Harvick. We've got some 3-wide racing right ahead of Truex. That's never something you really want to see. When you're in a championship race here, one mistake can take you out of the race. You see a little bit of contact between the 6 and the 3. Ooh, the 3. He put the 8 car up the racetrack. And now Truex, he's going to be moving to the 3rd position here. So good run early for the 19. Checking in behind him, Ryan Blaney. Blaney being shown in 8th right now, but going for more. We talked about at the beginning of the show, Ryan Blaney, the only driver without a win, without a championship in the Championship 4. So a clear underdog story here for the 12 car. And you can see him right now, right behind Kyle Larson, but Blaney shouldn't look in his rear view too much because you've got a 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion right there behind you as well. So Truex, your championship lead, looks like Truex was actually able to clear off that top side and maintain that position. So Truex being shown right now in the 4th position. We've got a battle behind him between Blaney and Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch to the inside. Oh, and Bell is in the outside wall. So caution will come out. Looks like Bubba Wallace also involved in this early caution. There's the 23. Looks like that car is heavily damaged. We'll have to get a replay of what happened here on lap number 7. Going into turn number 1, looks like a little contact with Eric Jones. And that sent Christopher Bell on the outside wall, and there's where the 23 gets his damage from. Made contact with Christopher Bell there. Get another look at it for you. Going down into turn number 1, Christopher Bell, I think he thought it was clear. 43 may have come up just a little bit and sent the 20 into the outside wall. And then you can see he slides down the track ever so slightly, and Bubba was just slightly higher than the cars in front of him, and that's where Bubba Wallace got his terminal damage to his number 23 machine. While we were away looking at the replay, we did have pit stops. So some pit stops happened on the racetrack. Martin Truex Jr. looks like he is the biggest loser out of the pit stops, as he's going to be scored way back in the pack. Could be a strategy call for the 19 machine. At the front of the field, it is Kyle Busch right now with Kevin Harvick right behind him. We will return with the green flag from the championship race here in Las Vegas. Welcome back to Las Vegas. A couple updates. Christopher Bell and the 23 of Bubba Wallace have taken their cars behind the wall. They are in the garage, done for the day. At the front of the field, it is Kyle Busch, followed pretty closely here by Kevin Harvick. Decided to stay out and not pit here at the first opportunity. So, track position, is that going to be key to championship contenders? Position number 1, position number 2. Kyle Busch will come into the restart box here to get the field back under the green flag, back to racing in Las Vegas. So clean air on the nose of the 18. Those two drivers are away. A look behind those two. I'm going to talk about our leading rookie here, Harrison Burton. He has really shown some speed, and we're going to get interrupted here talking about Burton because a battle for the lead going on. Harvick underneath of Kyle Busch. That is for the lead and for the championship lead. Give that to Kevin Harvick. And now we can kind of go back to talking about Harrison Burton and how good Harrison Burton has been today. Harrison missed the playoffs this year, but even with missing the playoffs, Harrison has been stellar in the second half of this season. So congratulations to Harrison and the good runs that he's having. We also haven't touched really on Ryan Preece. He is riding right now in the 4th position. Now we're looking for 3rd, but Ryan Preece is driving the 00 today. He normally drives the 15 car, but with Stuart Haas, him moving over to the 10 car next year, Stuart Haas brought a 5th race car, a 5th entry, put Ryan Preece in that car. They had also moved Eric Almirola's crew chief and crew over to the 00 today. That way Ryan getting a little bit of experience racing a Stuart Haas prepared, fully Stuart Haas funded race car. Another shout out today for the driver of the 78, BJ McLeod. We have seen some glimmers of speed from the 78 car, I think all the way back to earlier in the season when we had the All-Star race where BJ McLeod was able to qualify his way in. I mean, that was an amazing thing for that 78 team, and here they are today. They brought some speed in the 78 car. Right now, talking about some speed, looking at this 4 car, Kevin Harvick has jumped out to a huge lead at the moment. Still very early in this race, but Kevin Harvick jumps out to the lead. He's got Harrison Burton right behind him. So blue ovals today having a good race as the top three all owned by a Ford. Let's go back and check in with Martin Truex Jr. So Truex, we saw that he had pitted on that first opportunity to pit, so he is mired back in traffic right now. So Truex having a difficult time navigating through this traffic. Passing has been not as hard as it was here in the spring, but has been slightly difficult for Martin Truex Jr. and the 19 crew. So Truex now looking to go to the bottom lane. So that's pretty good for Martin. We've got some cars up in front of him that are racing pretty hard here. We've got AJ Allmendinger up on the high side. Ryan Blaney has cleared himself from that pack as well. So move Blaney up to the 7th position. Behind Blaney, teammate Austin Cindric. He is battling hard here with a lot of these drivers. So some tight racing. I've already seen one caution today, and it was Christopher Bell. Luckily enough, it was not a championship contender, but some tough racing here in Vegas. Martin Truex Jr., now that he's moved himself to the low line, he's starting to make some headway, passing some race cars. Will the fresh tires be able to help him out? We'll have to see how that plays out here as the race goes on. The hard thing for Truex right now is he has the 66 of Timmy Hill right in front of him. Not a lot of speed for the 66 of Timmy Hill. Truex going to desperately try to get by that car. Right on the outside of Truex's teammate Denny Hamlin. And there's where Truex is going to make the move off of turn number 4. He will get underneath the 66. Forward in the pack a little bit. Ryan Blaney now battling with teammate Austin Cindric. Hard racing there, but Blaney being shown in that 3rd championship spot. As I said, it's very early in the race. Up at the front of the field, it is still the 4 car of Kevin Harvick. He's leading the race with Harrison Burton behind him. But don't look back if you're Kevin Harvick, because the 78 and the 18 have been able to close down this lead a little bit. So be on the lookout for what this 18 car can do if they can get up here and start racing these guys. It's not even halfway yet. A lot of racing left. Goes Blaney putting a move on Austin Dillon. Not too far behind Ryan Blaney, we do find the 19. We were just talking about him. But the 19 of Truex doing really, really well right now. Saw a little bit of dirt there. Not sure if someone had ended up in the dirt on the front straightaway. I did see a plume of dust, so I'll have to take a look into that. Replay here, we did find out what the dirt was from. Logano got into the back of Alex Bowman and almost sent him down through the grass onto pit lane. So that's where that plume of dirt had come from. We're back live looking at Alex Bowman. So Bowman loses all the track position that he had. So a tough situation for the 48. The driver currently on the move right now is the driver that came down and got tires, and that's Martin Truex Jr. We're going to take a look at the fastest laps here, and indeed, Martin Truex Jr., the fastest car on the racetrack. Talked about strategy and how an early strategy call for the 19, can this pay off? You can see he's caught the back bumper of Ryan Blaney. Looks like he's going to try to make the move, maybe not, tucks back in behind the back bumper of Blaney. But Martin Truex Jr., the fastest car on the racetrack, and has moved himself into the top 10. Right now battling for that 9th position with Ryan Blaney. Both of these guys are championship contenders. And there he goes. Truex went by Blaney there. We do have some pit stops. Harrison Burton, the first one to come to pit lane. A little bit early, I would say. Well, AJ Allmendinger, you see him go by your screen as well. He was on pit lane as well. So these two cars coming down to pit lane, I would expect to see some other drivers on pit lane. Ricky Stenhouse also on pit lane, getting service done to his number 47 machine. Kyle Busch, the first of the championship contenders to come down. He's going to come down and get 4 tires and fuel for the 18 machine. So a strategy call for the 18. Get fresh tires, get some fuel, get ready to go. This should get him to the end of the race. Kevin Harvick, I didn't notice, but he was also down. So Kyle Busch, him coming to pit lane was a counter move for the 4 car. But look at the distance that has been closed up by this pit cycle between the 18 and the 4 car. Huge distance closed. As they will get back onto the racetrack, you're going to see the 21 and the 78 fly by here. That's what pitting 1 lap sooner will do for you. Martin Truex Jr. still on the racetrack. As we noted, he's part of that group that pitted early, so Truex can actually go a little bit longer. So this strategy play is going to give them more fuel to the good at the end of the race. So it was a split decision between the cars that were on the racetrack, the championship cars. And now you can see battle for what eventually will be the lead. The 78, can't say enough about BJ McLeod today. That car performing way above expectations right now. So now Kyle Busch, separated by just racetrack to Kevin Harvick. That is the championship lead, or what we think it will be. Right now, because of this split strategy that's going on, Kyle Larson is actually being shown as your leader. Now, these drivers still do have to make one more pit stop before the end of the race, but I see where they're going with this strategy, because if they pit, these drivers that pitted at lap 31, Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick, they may be able to make it on fuel, but they also might not. It might be right on their fuel number. And if they have to pit again, that could potentially put the 19 car in the lead. But as I say that, here comes Martin Truex Jr. They are coming down to pit lane now. So they gave it about 5 laps, and then they decided to come down to pit lane. So Truex, the 3rd championship contender to come down to pit lane and get service done to his number 19 machine. Another thing that is happening on pit road as well, we saw them go by the 00 car. He was having an issue with that car, so he is 6 laps down at the moment for Ryan Preece. So unfortunate for Ryan Preece. Truex is going to take off from his pit stall, and he's going to be behind some of these guys that he was actually racing. So he lost a little bit of time on pit lane, as all this should cycle around. Here is the battle for the lead between Kevin Harvick and Harrison Burton. And we've got a battle for the championship lead as well, as these top 4 include 2 championship drivers. Kevin Harvick has led and dominated the majority of this race, but now it has become a 2-man battle. But Harvick, he is back in some clean air, which is going to help that 4 machine. Harrison Burton making a move on Kyle Busch. So Harrison Burton to the inside of the 18 car. But this is the closest that Kyle Busch has been to the championship lead so far. Was able to use the high side to keep the 21 behind him. Now Kyle Busch going to go try to hunt down the 78. Kyle Busch to the inside of BJ McLeod. And move Kyle Busch to the 2nd position, with about 5 car lengths separating him and Kevin Harvick for the championship lead. There is still a lot of racing left, but you have to think the experience that these top 2 drivers have, this is going to help them immensely in keeping these other 2 behind them and racing each other for the championship lead. So this is getting exciting as we get down to the end of this race. And Kyle Busch, he seems like he has a lot more speed right now than the 4 of Kevin Harvick. So can Kyle Busch make this pass for the lead to the inside? Battling hard off of turn number 2. This is for the championship. They are side by side going down the back straightaway. But down into turn number 3, Harvick drives it in deep, but a little bit too deep. And Kyle Busch will move to the championship lead and the lead of the race. That pass, extremely important for the 18 machine. Update you on the other championship contenders. The next championship contender you're going to come to is the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. going into turn number 3 right now. So Truex is the next championship contender we find, but even further back from that, we find Ryan Blaney. Blaney 4th in the championship standings right now. We're going to take you on board with all 4 championship drivers right now.
On board of all these vehicles, we've got Kevin Harvick on pit road. We'll have to update you on what happened to Kevin Harvick. But right now, we're taking a look at Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, all these guys racing on track. Kyle Busch, currently your leader, but we can see Harvick is on pit lane right now, pulling into his pit stall. So an issue for one of our championship contenders here. Guys racing hard to win themselves a championship, and Kyle Busch is in the best spot to do that. Looking at Martin Truex Jr., you can see all kinds of cars in front of him. A lot of traffic up ahead where Truex is going to have to work his way through the traffic in order to get to Kyle Busch to win this championship. Can he get it done? Kyle Busch coming around to complete lap number 47.
And as you saw on the championship onboards, we had a couple issues One of the issues is Harrison Burton. His engine has expired on that number 21 Ford. And the other issue you saw with the 4 of Kevin Harvick. An issue for Kevin Harvick. So hand the lead of the championship and the lead of the race to Kyle Busch with really no competition around him. Kyle has just set sail. He has over a 1 second lead to second and almost 4 seconds to third. So your championship leader right now is Kyle Busch. And you saw it in the onboard, Kevin Harvick with that issue. Oh, we got a car going through the grass. It's the 8 of Tyler Reddick. He comes back up the racetrack. And he will save that race car. That was close to being an accident. Update on the 00. They did get that figured out, what was wrong with Ryan Preece's car. Preece had brushed the wall, and it was a toe link that was bent on the right rear. They were able to repair that toe link and get Preece back out onto the racetrack, but Preece now being shown 5 laps down. The biggest story right now is Kyle Busch can pretty much be on cruise control here, as the 4 of Kevin Harvick had an issue. Being told it was a suspension issue for Harvick as well. So Kyle Busch looking to cruise to his 3rd championship in his hometown. Truex battling with Chase Elliott at the moment. He's got Ryan Blaney not too far behind him. Chase Elliott on the inside of Ryan Blaney. Taking a look there, trying to make a move on the 12. So this has been a wild championship race. And Kyle Busch is on cruise control, over 2 seconds back to 2nd place. So a great run here today. Kyle Busch just needs to finish it out. Unfortunate circumstances for the 4 car of Kevin Harvick, having a suspension failure this late in the race. Kyle Busch around turn number 1 and 2. Trying to do the double. Is he going to be able to win the race and win the championship? Going to try to find out here in the next little while. Only 4 laps to go for Kyle Busch in the 2022 simulation season. No threat for Kyle Busch anywhere around him at the moment. turn number 4. He's going to see 3 to go. A day that is hot. The track is slick. A special day in NASCAR Motorsports, the championship race. Oh, but Kyle Busch with an issue. He's going to come down to pit lane. Is he out of fuel? This is insane. Kyle Busch out of fuel. He came on the radio and said it was sputtering. Kyle Busch to pit lane, out of fuel, and that's what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about maybe Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick pitted too soon, and Kyle Busch is on pit lane. A splash of fuel to get him going. He has handed this race over to the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Truex across the line. It's the white flag lap for Martin Truex Jr. Kyle Busch had run out of fuel. An unprecedented event for Kyle Busch. A gift, an early Christmas gift for Martin Truex Jr. He is the champion of the NR 2003 simulation season. I cannot believe what just happened here in Las Vegas. Martin Truex Jr., your champion.
Oh my God, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
I bet he can't even believe it. And he's going to come around and he's going to do a burnout for the fans. Wow. And here comes Martin Truex Jr., your 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. Today, a little bit of luck went his way, and Martin Truex Jr., while he did not win the race, was the first finishing playoff driver. Martin Truex Jr., your 2022 NR 2003 simulation season champion. We congratulate him, his team, and everybody else that's on this 19 car on a successful season that ends here in Las Vegas with a championship. Unbelievable playoffs for Martin Truex Jr. And he caps it off with a championship. Joe Gibbs, Toyota, and Martin Truex Jr. really put in the work here at the end of the season to be in this position, and here they are. And Truex, he's gonna just bring it to the start and finish line, and that's gonna be the end to his season. Your champion. And here he comes into victory lane, your champion, Martin Truex Jr. Gonna do a little burnout as he's coming into the victory lane here. A season well done for Martin Truex Jr. The NR 2003 championship is decided. Martin Truex Jr., your champion, peaked at the right time in the playoffs, getting his first win of the entire season in the playoffs. Martin Truex Jr. goes on and he's going to win in Las Vegas. The championship is his. Kyle Larson was the one that won the race. He came around to finish P1. We saw Larson behind Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch with an issue. Ran out of fuel with 2 laps remaining. And heartbreak for Kyle Busch, who looked like he was going to walk away with the championship and walk away with even the race win. He was going to do the double, but unfortunately ran out of fuel with 2 laps left, handing the championship to Martin Truex Jr. It was a wild season. We saw a lot of different things this season. Some hard wrecks. We saw some surprise winners. We saw drivers do well that we didn't think were going to do well. And it all gets us excited for when we kick off the next season at Daytona in a little time here. It was an amazing season, and it came down to 2 laps here in Las Vegas. I mean, what a race. When you look at everything that happened in this race, from Kevin Harvick with a suspension issue, Kyle Busch running out of fuel, Martin Truex Jr. trying to play the pit strategy that ended up being the reason he won the race, I would like to believe. Ryan Blaney then finishing second in the championship standings because of Harvick being out and Kyle Busch losing a lap to both of them. Blaney probably kicking himself a little bit that he wasn't close enough to Martin Truex Jr. to try to make a move there in the end to try to win his championship himself. But at the end of the day, it's Martin Truex Jr., your champion this season in the simulation season. We appreciate everybody for sticking with us this season and watching these races and giving us a lot of company as we go through the season here. We saw some great racing, and we hope to see you next season for the NR2003 2023 simulation season. Thank you all for watching today's race, and we congratulate Martin Truex Jr. on a well-deserved championship here today in Las Vegas. Thank you all. We will see you in the next season.